Get ready.
Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Adventure Bike Pilot. This week I want to go through some of the work I've had done on this motorbike in terms of its side stand. If you've been following the channel, you will have known that since I bought this bike, one of the things, actually the top thing of the top 5 in the video I've recently done of the things I don't like about this bike was the side stand. And the reason for that is because this is a factory lowered motorbike, because I'm vertically challenged. But the original stand stays on this. They don't give a shorter stand with them. So that means that when it's on its side stand, the bike is propped a bit more upright. And it's from my thoughts, it's a bit too precarious when it's on its side stand. I did have an issue where the bike blew over on my first weekend away in it, and it damaged some of the side of the bike. It put some scratches on the crash bars. It took a little scratch on the rocker cover case, and it put some scratches on my exhaust. So I've taken some actions now to try and rectify that and make sure that it doesn't happen again. So I'll go through those in a minute. Just before I get into that, I just wanted to give a shout out to Away You Go channel. Thank you very much for the stickers. I got them. Thank you very much. If you haven't checked out his channel, go over and have a look. He's trying to build a community of bikers that will go out and ride on the weekend and keep in touch with each other. So it's great stuff. So have a look at his channel and say hello from me. But it also reminds me that we also have Adventure Bike Pilot stickers. And if you'd like one, to put on your bike or your pannier or wherever, just give us a shout. All we'd like you to do is like and subscribe. Hopefully share a video or two with a couple of friends, and then just send us a private message to let us know that you've done that with your name and address, and we'll send a couple of them out to you in the post for free. They are weatherproof, so they're okay to go on the outside of the bike or your panniers. So by all means, send that on. We'd appreciate it. Away You Go, we're an Irish channel. There's not a lot of Irish vloggers out there, so we'd really appreciate any support that we can get. So getting back then to the issue at hand. So as I said, there was some damage done to the bike. So what I've done now to rectify that is I brought the bike down to Overlanders down in Gorey. So shout out to the guys there. Thank you very much to Aaron and the mechanics down there. They did an absolutely fantastic job on the side stand. So what they did was they cut about ½ an inch or just over 1 centimeter off the bottom part of the side stand, and then they cut the side stand so that in a kind of a V shape, so that it linked back in with itself, and then they welded it, sanded it down, and then resprayed the whole stand and then refitted it. And they done an absolutely fantastic job. I mean, unless you were really, really looking for it, you would never even know there was a new weld done to the stand. And it's transformed the bike in terms of, how safe I feel it is when it's on its side stand. I've had a lot of people saying to me, well, just put it on your center stand. That's great, but the whole point of a side stand is that it's convenient when you just want to get off the bike quickly and go and do something. You can't always be putting it on the center stand. It's not always the most convenient thing to do. So now that I have the side stand shortened, the bike feels like it's leaning over correctly, appropriate for the size of the bike and everything. I find now that sometimes if the ground was uneven, sometimes the side stand trying to get it down would get stuck on the ground. I'm sure a lot of you, taller riders wouldn't experience that. But as I've said before, this is a lower chassis bike because I'm vertically challenged. That means the bike is much closer to the ground. And with the original stand, sometimes it just catches on the ground when you're trying to put it out. So all of that issue is being totally resolved now, It only took about an hour. I think he charged me, 65 euros to do the stand. It's a really, really good job. So the other thing then I'm going to be doing to that is, or actually I got him to do it while I was down there. I don't know if you can see it. If not, I'll put up a picture. I've put these additional struts or supporting bars onto the sides crash bars. Because I think when it fell over that time, the side bars had a little bit of give in them and they kind of moved in slightly and allowed the pavement to just nick the top of the rocker cover case. So with these additional support bars, it'll keep the side bars out and much more reinforced and no giving them. So that will totally resolve that issue in case the bike ever goes over again. As a backup plan, I've also ordered some Touratech aluminium rocker cover cases. They'll go over the case itself, so even if the crash bars don't do the job, or if there's a rock jutting out or something and gets past the bars, it won't puncture the engine casing. It'll only hit a hardened aluminium cover, and that will totally resolve the issue. I've since had the bit on the exhaust replaced, the little carbon fiber end cap. That you can actually buy that separately. That just slid off and I went another one. There's some slight scratching on the exhaust itself, not enough to go and buy a whole new exhaust. You know, it just doesn't warrant it. You'd have to be really looking to find it. And then I had bought these little plastic additional crash sleeves. These are to go on to the crash bars themselves. They're kind of like crash protectors for your crash bars. But I found out when I've gone to fit them that the gap between the crash bars and the engine case is too narrow. They won't go on. And if it's already too narrow and I haven't had the covers fitted yet, there'll definitely be no space. So there's no point in putting these on anywhere else, because the whole point of these is that they're out at the furthest point, that they're the first thing to hit the ground to prevent your crash bars from getting scratched if you do fall over. So if they're not going to make contact at all, I don't think there's any need to put these on. I may find another use for them somewhere. Maybe I might put them onto the Blackbird or something like that. Yeah, that was a bit of a waste of money. So that's everything I've done. So I've done the side stand shortened just over 1 centimeter, the additional reinforcement bars, then the engine case covers are coming next week. They'll go on. I'll share that with you when they go on. And then, as I said, ever since the exhaust has been repaired and everything, the pannier side cases have gone on with the pannier bars, the rack system. So they would keep the bike up off the exhaust if it was to fall over again. So now the exhaust is totally protected as well. So that's everything protected in terms of the bike in case it falls over again, and I'm sure it will. So that's everything I've done so far to resolve that issue. Just a quick update then on the upcoming North Coast 500 Scotland trip. As I mentioned on my Facebook page, and if you're not following the page, please give it an old subscribe. The ferry that I was sailing out on last year, I sailed out from Larne. This year I was planning to sail out from Belfast, because I really wanted to stay in this beautiful hotel up there called the Titanic. But Stena Line have after reaching out to me saying that the sailing is now moved from 7:30 till 9:30. So that knocks 2 hours off the day on the far side. Which means then I won't even land into Stranraer till nearly 11 or 12 o'clock. So it's half the day gone. So I'm going to stay in the same hotel as I did last year, which is up past Glencoe. And last year when I got into Stranraer at about 9:30, I didn't get to that hotel till nearly 7. So if you add 2 hours, it's nearly 9-10 o'clock at night before I get in. So that's just doesn't sound appealing to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer back to the Larne ferry with P&O ferries. That will leave at about 8 o'clock in the morning. It's still later than last year by about half an hour, but it gains me an hour and a half back on this year's sailing from Belfast, which also will then have an impact then maybe on some of the routes that I'll do. But that's just a quick update. So that's everything. I hope you're staying safe and well. Obviously, COVID-19 lockdown is finished here in Ireland. We're free to roam around, but obviously you still need to do some social distancing and hand washing and everything. But other than that, we're free to move around the country and go where we please. And I'm still, keeping an eye on how things are going in the UK to make sure that it's safe for me to go over there. But other than that, take care, and don't forget to hit the old like and subscribe button. And I'll talk to you again soon. Have fun.